$30, Paul.
What?
Yep. I paid $30 extra on top of delivery to have them show up between 4 and 6 with my insulation and a whole bunch of wood. You know what time they showed up yesterday, Paul?
No time?
1:48 p.m.
Oh, yikes.
Guess who wasn't ready for...
So normally, right.
Yep.
This is like the Seinfeld gag, you know. I know how to take a reservation. I don't think you do. You know, the hard part isn't taking the reservation, it's keeping the reservation.
Things that aren't hard to keep, though, is this quick message from our sponsors at Smart Deploy. With Smart Deploy, you can deploy images, applications, and scripts over your existing network or the cloud. Claim your free Smart Deploy licenses worth over $700 at smartdeploy.com/therot.
I'm intrigued by the whole Office thing they got going there. I want to know what kind of docks they're using. Those look like ThinkPad laptops.
I'm sure they've got many a machines.
I should probably comb my hair before we do this show. It's so early now.
Anyway, so my insulation board showed up yesterday, my dry core subflooring, and a whole bunch of 2x2 furring strips. And I started putting them up last night because stuff to do.
Yeah, nice.
I don't know. Anyways, I just realized you sent me a message on Skype that said test.
Oh, I was testing the thing we were talking about earlier. Yeah, so I was complaining to Brad that if you're
Which is
Skype,
unusual, by the way. He usually doesn't complain to me.
Brad's like a sounding board for my complaints, like a kind of a like a stand-up comedian kind of test markets jokes before they go on the road. In Skype, if I type a message to Brad or anyone else, obviously, you type in some words and you hit enter and it sends. That's how it works. And so every morning when we do the show, Brad sends me a message that says ready. And if I'm not in the Skype app, which I won't be, right? I don't hang out in it. You get one of those little Windows 10 pop-up banner things, toast notification. Now, they're interactive, so I can reply right in line there. And so if I respond with yes and I hit enter, it doesn't send. It doesn't work the same way it does in Skype. You have to hit control enter. So I have to remember which one does which. It's stupid. And what was your reply to that?
Just turn that thing off. If I could completely remove the notification center feature from Windows 10, I absolutely would.
Which is funny because that was one of those eagerly anticipated features.
Yeah.
Something mobile operating systems have had for a while. Yep. It seemed like a natural addition.
I pretty much live in the taskbar. If the icon isn't orange, letting me know, why can't we change that color, by the way?
Yeah, right. That's a good point.
Like I look for those things, and then little pop-ups. Sometimes they'll say like 1 or 2 or whatever. But yeah, nope. Nope. I don't use it. Oh.
Interesting.
Yep.
That's probably smart.
Yeah, it probably is. Stadia review will go up here hopefully this morning. The only thing that I'll add from what we've talked about previously is that playing it on the PC, the latency is much better.
I heard the opposite was the case. That's interesting.
Yeah, like I played Destiny this morning, single player, mind you. I can't get into a multiplayer game.
There's nobody there.
Yeah, like I posted a GIF right before this game podcast started. So there's another hidden game inside of Stadia. It's called Will You Get Into a Multiplayer Game Before the 10-minute timer arrives? Because after 10 minutes of searching for a game, Destiny kicks you out and says, hey, you can't find a matchmaking game. And so
it kicks you out.
Yeah, it's just stops searching. It's just like, hey, we're done. And so then you get to start again.
10 minutes. It's a long time to search, actually.
It is. So when I was playing just the first play version of it, it was great. Like it was actually pretty good. Granted, the graphics you could tell were little smudgy. It was not 4K. I know I was playing on a 4K monitor.
Yeah, but is that a problem? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, like the bigger problem here, I think, is why would you play on Stadia? Like if you really want to play Destiny, you probably have either a console or at least a mid-level gaming PC, which either one of those scenarios will give you a better experience than Stadia will. Now, granted, you can't play in a hotel room, But I guess if you're living that much in a hotel room, you might want to
I was gonna say, is
reevaluate your
this a big
life.
scenario for people?
I like that's the thing. Like,
Look, Brad, you know this. I play Call of Duty every single day,
mhm.
every single day, and then I go on a trip like the recent work trip to Ignite, or I go on a really long trip like the home swap this past summer for 3 weeks.
Yep.
I never think about Call of Duty. I don't miss it. I don't wish it was there. I, I mean, I don't know. Maybe this is part of that whole, maybe we need to be bored sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it's one of those things I think we can all agree. Like the proposition of Stadia and XCloud for that matter is really, really interesting. Like it's a
Yeah,
really good idea.
absolutely.
But to me, it feels like Google pushed this out the door to simply be able to scream first rather than to scream best.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
Look, everyone's different. I get this, but I mean, you've seen people out in the world. This happened the other day. There's like a person watching what is clearly a TV show on their phone.
Did that really
No
happen?
headphones, just letting the whole world. There it is again.
Yep. Like what? I even turned the computer on early. Keep going on with the rant.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. Like we've had streaming video services for a while now. I mean, there are occasions where I will say to my daughter, "Here's a funny YouTube video I thought you would like to watch," but I don't really need that stuff too much. I mean, even when traveling, I never turn on the TV in the hotel room ever. I will occasionally watch part of a movie or something on my iPad. I download a couple things, make sure I have something, whatever. But more often, I don't listen to anything really. I mean, I'll listen to a podcast or an audiobook while I'm getting ready, maybe. I don't. Do we have to be entertained this much? I don't.
I don't know.
It's a little weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I hope that Google sticks with it and keeps pushing forward, and improving it, and making it better.
I'm sorry. It should be there. Things like this should exist. I mean, I think this is the natural evolution of gaming, and that this could replace consoles over time. But over time, and I don't know. Is it really a I don't know. Like I game here in my office, right? So I have a screen. I have an Xbox. You could argue this is like the old-fashioned approach to computers. You had to go to a specific room because that's where the thing was. It's not portable in any way. And it's a video game. Like, does it have to be? I don't know.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see the evolution of this and how it plays out. But right now, in good faith, I could not tell anybody to go buy Stadia. There's no justification for it right now.
But the idea is solid, and I think there are takes on this that are interesting. Like I'm not personally a huge fan of like Apple Arcade, but I sort of recognize, it's actually inexpensive. There's some decent collection of games of whatever type, and that might make that kind of thing more accessible to people. And I think like cloud-based gaming, for now, of course, some people just don't have the connectivity. But when you assume a world of pervasive connectivity, it does make gaming more accessible. What does it cost to do 4K gaming on an Xbox? You got to spend like $400 up front, and then $60 a title, and you're still not getting 4K, by the way, like ever. So, what are we complaining about here? I don't know. It's just it's going to be bandwidth, and I think, obviously, for many people, that's going to be a problem for some time, for some time to come.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. We'll see how this plays out, if you will. The biggest thing I want to see now, which has me really curious, is xCloud in a browser. Because knowing, at least for me personally, which I do find ironic that I paid $130 for a controller and a Chromecast Ultra, and the best way to play it is with a keyboard and mouse in a browser. I'm very curious to see if xCloud in a browser gets that type of level of slight improvement.
One thing I tried recently, I should probably just write about this, but it was so terrible. I was really disappointed. They updated Call of Duty Mobile to support controllers, right? Xbox, PlayStation, whatever. Like, finally, here we go. Because, my experience with it on, I guess it was probably on it doesn't matter what phone, but it's probably an Android phone at the time. But I thought the graphics were good enough, like, this could work. And because it was supporting a controller now, I'm like, I'll put this on the iPad. It's a bigger screen. This will be okay. And oh my God, it was really terrible. And it's hard to explain why, but I'll just kind of say it was basically latency. I think the play mechanics were designed so obviously for touch that when you add
Yeah.
controller support, it just feels, I don't know what the right word is. It's off. It just doesn't, it's kind of not wobbly. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
Milky. I don't know. Weird.
Yeah.
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 It's
Weird.
too bad. I'm ready for it. I mean, I'm ready to do this kind of thing. I am accepting of it.
It's inevitable. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
so we'll see. You know, there's a lot of time left between now and our inevitable deaths. So hopefully, actually, I should say hopefully
I
there's a
was
lot
going
of
to
time.
say, yeah, that's,
I don't know, with all this drilling and like fibers going into the air of insulation, wood, probably asbestos at some point, dust from 1956.
my death will be caused by an aneurysm from the people who live here and drive like they're Amish people from the 1930s for some reason. You ever get like, I literally pulled up to an intersection the other day. It was raining, so obviously the streets must be slippery. It's like ice out there or something. I guess that's what these people are thinking. I don't know. They already drive like 10 miles under the speed limit to begin with. So this was like an agonizing drive home. But I can see this intersection up ahead, and the light is red. So the cars are sitting there. So I'm going to pull up and it's going to turn green. And I'm looking at the cars and I'm like, 1, 2, maybe 7 cars. And I'm like, I'm not going to make this light.
Yeah.
I cannot stress enough how 27 cars could have made it through there in Massachusetts. No problem. And I didn't make the light. In fact, I was so positive I wasn't going to make the light. I didn't even pull into the line of cars. I pulled into the right-hand turn lane. When the light turned green, I took a right. I pulled into a gas station and I pulled out and I got in front of the jerk who was in front of me before. Because that's how they drive, Brad. That's how I'm going to die.
Well, at least we'll know he'll go down happy.
He went down doing what he loves, ranting about something that no one else understands. Yep.
Oh man, not a whole lot else going on today. It's
No, I did write up my Fire TV thing.
Okay.
Yeah, in fact, whatever it's worth, Fire TV stick, 4K, with I got the Ethernet adapter, $40 all told. I'm not gonna even buy another Roku. Like, I don't see the point. Like, this thing is great. Like, it actually works really well.
Yeah.
And that's how they get you, Brad. You know, Amazon has got an in now. So it's only a matter of time before I'm surrounded by Echo speakers and screaming at her whose name will not be spoken.
Yeah, the TV hunt. I was looking at Vizio TVs yesterday, and everyone seems to think they're fine. I mean, they're just whatever.
By the way, I think they're better than fine. Remember that Vizio used to be that kind of no brand thing that was only at Costco or something, and there are other brands that have replaced it in that capacity. I think Vizio has actually really turned up the game. I think their products are very good.
Because I was looking at I could get so this is the, I think, M series. I don't know their product lineup all that well, but all I need is a 4K TV with HDR that supports the Xbox. That's basically it. I don't need anything else because it connects to an Apple TV. Right. And I could get a 55-inch and a 65-inch TV, basically the same one, just larger, for about $1,000 for both of them.
Wow, for 2?
Yeah, for 2. Like that's
amazing.
Like, that to me is, granted, $1,000 is a lot of money. Don't get me wrong.
$1,000 is $1,000. But
2 TVs.
Yeah, I mean, whenever we got that TV behind you, that I think was probably 2 years ago, we went and bought one at Best Buy. It was $1,000.
It was more than that. I believe this one was like $1,200.
Okay, $1,200 at the time, and I had to convince my wife to get this. But we've used it. We use it every single day, and it's worked great. I've never had any problems with it, other than realizing you want to turn off your Samsung accounts. Get notifications every 10 seconds. But other than that, it's been great. The picture's great. Everything's great. So it's worked great.
Yeah. So if anybody has any opinions about Vizio TVs, I'd be curious to hear them.
I bet you hear good things.
I bet most people online were like saying that they're perfectly fine as long as you like the ones. It's like a Quantum M something or other. I don't even know what the hell quantum dot technology is. Like, Samsung has quantum. Right. Everybody's got quantum. Microsoft announced the quantum.
Those might be different quantums, but yes, it is a trendy tech word.
It is. It is. So I don't know. You got anything else for today, Paul?
Nothing interesting. I did. I spend hours and hours every day working on this programming stuff, and I wasted everyone's time by describing something that you could only do with a rich text box, which is not what I'm using in the app, and blah blah blah. And then I didn't. It works fine with. It didn't. It was anyway.
Are you saying you wasted some time doing something?
Yeah.
Because
But at least it wasn't Call of Duty.
Yeah. Well, we'll end on this low note. So I get the installation and all that stuff, and I'm gonna go put up the first one because it's new. It's like I want to put one up. I want to see what it's like.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so the way I'm putting them up is the insulation board goes up against the wall. It's rigid foam. It's not like the Pink Panther. It's Owens Corning 1 inch R, I think 5 or 7.5, something like that. Insulation. It's rigid. It has plastic on both sides, so it's a vapor barrier. Goes up. 2x2 furring strip goes on top of it. And what I'm doing is I'm drilling through the furring strip, through the foam, into the concrete. About 1.5 inches. And then I use what's called it's a Tapcon, which is just a fancy screw that goes in concrete. And so I drive it in there, and that's all it does. Like that board pinches up against the concrete. I put 3 of them in, not going anywhere.
Right.
So I get the first one done, like, this is going to be easy. Second one in, I bend the damn bit.
Oh boy.
So then I went to the hardware store and I bought 3 of them.
Right, because anticipating future Brad will probably bend the bit again.
And then I put in 24 of them and didn't bend a single one.
Yeah. That's, you know what, though? That's good insurance right there, right?
Yeah,
that's how
I've got extra ones upstairs. I'll take them back. I'm not, but whatever.
Yeah, that's good.
So there you go. All right, folks, so that wraps it up for today. And don't forget to check out that link below from our friends over at Smart Deploy to grab your free exclusive offer at smartdeploy.com/therot. And we'll catch all of you right back here next time.